Have you ever stopped to think how many of the things we use every single day, our phones, computers, hospitals, even the way we do science, actually trace back to Muslim minds from over 1,000 years ago? Today, we are going to remember those forgotten pioneers, the early Muslim scientists whose brilliance still shapes the world today. Let's start with Al-Khwarizmi, a Persian scholar from the 9th century whose work changed how we understand numbers forever. He didn't just study math, he invented algebra. In fact, the word algebra itself comes from his book Al-Kitab al-Mukhtasar fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala. He also introduced the concepts of algorithms, the very foundation of computer science. In fact, the word algorithm comes from his name, Al-Khwarizmi. He found systematic ways to solve equations, linear and quadratic, the same kind of math that powers computers, coding, and even artificial intelligence today. So the next time your calculator helps you out, remember, you are using the legacy of Al-Khwarizmi. Then came Ibn Sina, or Europeans called him Avicenna. He wasn't just a doctor, he was a thinker, a philosopher, a man whose books guided medicine for 600 years. His masterpiece, The Canon of Medicine, was taught in Europe universities long after he was gone. He explained diseases, introduced quarantine methods, and documented treatments that sound surprisingly modern. He wrote over 200 books on philosophy, astronomy, and medicine. His ideas about psychology and mind-body connection were far ahead of his time. Every time you see a hospital follow hygiene or diagnosis rules, you are seeing Ibn Sina's mind still at work. Now imagine this. 1,000 years ago, people believed that we could see because our eyes shot rays outward. But then came Ibn al-Haytham, the man who changed that forever. He proved that vision happens because light enters the eye, not the other way around. He studied mirrors, lenses, reflections, laying the foundation for optics. But beyond that, he gave us something even greater, the scientific method, the very process of observation, hypothesis, and testing. The method every scientist follows today was born from his way of thinking. His experiments, light and shadow, were the first real examples of using controlled testing, the seed of modern physics. So when you see a lab experiment, a telescope, or a camera lens, you are looking at Ibn al-Haytham's light. And then there was Al-Razi, a physician, a chemist, and a man who ran one of the world's first true hospitals. He discovered alcohol as a disinfectant long before modern science caught up. He identified smallpox and measles, distinguishing between them at a time when others couldn't. He also pioneered the use of sutures made from animal gall and described how to use mercury ointments safely. His writings influenced hospitals in Baghdad and Europe alike. He believed in careful observation, clean environment, and treating patients with both reason and compassion. And isn't that still what good medicine is about? And then there was Jabir ibn Hayyan, a man who didn't just mix substances, he mixed knowledge, patience, and faith. Often called the father of chemistry, Jabir was the first to experiment with acid, distillation, and crystallization. He designed tools that scientists still use in modern chemistry, while others search for gold through alchemy. Jabir searched for understanding, believing that every reaction was a sign of Allah's perfect design. And then there was Fatima al-Fihri, a name that history often whispers. In the 9th century, she founded Al-Qarawiyam University in Morocco, the world's oldest continually operating university. She built it not for wealth or fame, but so people could seek knowledge for Allah's sake. Generations of scholars, from mathematics to jurists, studied within the walls she built. Fatima's story proves that the pursuit of knowledge has never been limited by gender. It's fueled by faith, vision, and sincerity. These were just few names: Al-Khwarizmi, Ibn Sina, Ibn al-Haytham, Al-Razi, Jabir ibn Hayyan, and Fatima al-Fihri. And behind them, hundreds more, men and women who saw knowledge not as a fame or power, but as worship, a reflection of the Quranic command to read, to learn, to think. The legacy reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge has no religion, no border, but when guided by faith, it can change the world. May Allah make us among those who seek knowledge with sincerity and use it to bring light, just like they did.